Hey, welcome to Learning Self-Reliance. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on a 98 Toyota Tacoma. This is a V6 SR5 Toyota Tacoma. If anybody who hasn't done this before, it's really easy. There's probably a million videos on this on YouTube, but I wanted to put one on my channel just to emphasize how important it is to be able to maintain your own vehicles. And one of the simplest things to do is an oil change. There's only a couple of components you need. You need two new components. The first one is a new oil filter. I went over to my O'Reilly's. You can go to AutoZone or any other old car parts place, and you can ask them, give them your make and model and year, and tell them you need an oil filter. They'll help you pick it out. Then you also need some oil. So this is 5 quarts of high mileage 10W30. The manual for my Tacoma recommended 5W30, but whatever, I just got this, so I'm going to use it. Another thing is to have something to capture your used oil in. So I've got this guy here. Any old container will do. You could use like an old milk jug or something like that. It's best to take it over to the place you bought these components from, drop it off, and get it recycled. You're also going to need a socket set, and bonus points if you've got some nice disposable mechanics gloves like these black ones here from Harbor Freight, but those aren't required. First thing you're going to want to do is locate your oil filter. So nice part about the Tacoma is right in here. That white cylinder right there is the oil filter. So if you don't have a Tacoma, you can just look around on the engine. You're going to see some maybe white or orange or some cylinder sticking out. And it's going to have some kind of grips on the side, kind of like that. What you do is you just unscrew that and then put the new one on. Super simple. If you can't get it off, you can buy a tool, again, from that same store if you need to, but that's not required either. Usually I can just get these off by hand. The next thing you need to do is hop under the engine. So I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. Hop under there. We're going to look for the bolt. Okay, I'm underneath the front of the engine here. I don't have this jacked up or anything. It should be just fine. What you're looking for is on the bottom. Sorry, I got to scoot on here a bit more. On the bottom of your engine, you're going to find a bolt like this. So if you got a Tacoma, it's going to be right here on the front of the engine block. We're going to unscrew this. Oil is going to come pouring out of it. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull off the oil cap here from my engine. This is, oh, I didn't put my gloves on. Dang it. Okay, got my gloves on here. This is the engine oil cap. Pulled that off. This is going to release the vacuum that it would hold on to the oil in the bolt. I'm going to hop underneath and unscrew that bolt. All right, this is super simple. Now I just need to figure out which bolt it is. I'm going to try out a couple. So I figure out the right size. There we go. This one happens to be a 14 millimeter socket. Now comes a bit of the more difficult part. When I unscrew this, the oil is going to come out, and I need to catch it in a pan, so it might be a little bit easier if you jack it up, but I'm not going to bother. And I might spill a little bit of oil, but I'm going to hopefully have my drip pan wide enough that I can capture all of this. I decided to switch to a bit of a smaller 14. That's all right. Got that initial brake on there. Now it should be pretty easy. Could twist this by hand. My engine's a little bit warm. Hold on, I gotta make sure my drip bucket's underneath just right. My engine's a bit warm, so that's why I like to wear some gloves to keep that hot oil from getting on me. And there we go. I got quite a bit on my hand, but that's why I'm wearing gloves. And all this oil, it's a bit overdue for a change here, but oil's falling in the drip pan, looking good. While that's draining out, I'm going to pull off the oil filter and we'll get that switched out. Okay, that oil's still draining out. I'm going to reach in there and pull this guy out of here. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it one-handed. Oh, yeah, came right off. Oh, and the oil's leaking a little bit out of it. I'm going to give that a sec. I'm going to make sure that I've got my drip pan underneath where that's going to be dripping. All right, I moved my drip pan over to where this guy was dripping out. Yep, falling right into the drip pan, perfect. So yours might not come off this easy, just by hand, but that's all right. You can get a tool to help you get it off. I'll show you a little trick when we put the new one on, so you can get this off easier in the future. There we go. There's my filter. This is the old filter. We'll chuck this guy. All right, here's my new filter out of the box. Let me show you a quick little trick. I'm going to take my finger here when it's clean. I'm going to take a little bit of oil, some of that used oil, just put a little bit on this rubber gasket here, just to make it easier to remove in the future. That's it. Now I'm going to screw this back on. And, you know, getting somebody to do this for you, you know, I like to buy the premium components, full synthetic, all that goodness. And that's going to cost you 100-something bucks maybe. Depends on where you get it done. But this, sorry about the shaking there, is going to save you a ton of money. Probably doing all this is about 50 bucks, something like that, doing it myself. But there we go, new oil filter on. The oil's finished draining out. I'm going to put that bolt back in and we'll fill it up. Okay, I didn't show you guys screwing that on because it's just all I did was screw it in and tighten it up with the socket there. We're going to put some oil in here and we'll check the level, make sure the engine oil level is good. Look for your dipstick. I think this is my engine oil. Yeah, this is my engine oil dipstick here. Pull that out. And it's got nothing on it right now, which is good. We'll fill that up and make sure the engine level is correct. Oh, and you want to make sure your car is on a level surface so you get a good read on this. So my car is in a pretty level spot, so I'm going to trust this the way it is. Okay, I couldn't find my funnel, so I grabbed a small milk carton here, chopped off the bottom, rinsed it out, dried it out. That should be plenty good, enough for a funnel for just this one bit. I'm just going to tip my oil into here. I'll probably give this about half of it, just to start. And then I'll give it a few minutes to settle to the bottom, even though it's going to go pretty quick. That's probably about half, maybe a bit more. I'll give that just a minute to settle to the bottom. I'm going to check the dipstick. Okay, I gave that a minute. Didn't see anything on the dipstick, so I'm going to give it a lot more here. All right, probably got maybe a quart left in this. And you know what, this Tacoma's probably going to need the whole 5 quarts, but I'm just doing it slowly just to make sure I don't overfill it. And if you do overfill it, you could pull out that bolt on the bottom and drain it out a little bit. Do that a couple of times, just quick spurts to try and get it back down to level. That registered a little bit on the dipstick. I'm going to give it the rest of this. Okay. So that should be it. I mean, changing your oil is super simple, saves you a bunch of money. This probably saved me $50, $70, something like that, and took me all of 20 minutes. Your first time might take you an hour or something like that as you're figuring stuff out. But once you get good at it and you're not making a video, you can probably do it in 10 minutes. All right, guys, well, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.